Alright, so we're basically 2 months into 2025 already. And if I'm guessing most of you watching are not making as much progress as you would like into actually achieving your goals that you said you would achieve in 2025. And so I kind of wanted to talk about this one little thing that kind of changed my perspective on how to structure my life and also how to create my goals so that I actually make a lot more progress than I used to. And so this little thing is called priorities. That's actually not what we're going to talk about because this word should not even exist in the English dictionary. This right here, the plurality by the S, it should not be a thing. Priorities should not be a thing. The only thing that should exist is priority. As in, that's what the word is supposed to mean. As in, one thing is more valuable to you than everything else. Because then if you're going to focus on the word priorities with an S, then you're going to say, oh yeah, I need to hit my goals when it comes to the gym, then my diet, then my school, then my business, then my relationships, then my religion. How do you think you're going to achieve all 20 goals while working towards them at the same pace, at the same effort, and somehow fitting in 20 blocks of work in one day? So for example, this is one mistake I made last year is, first of all, before last year, right, when I was making my goals for 2024, I've never ran more than a 5K in my life, right? So take that in fact. And I was also just starting my bulk. And so guess what I did? Goal number 1, run 42K or a marathon. And guess what? At the same time, my second goal number 2 was bulk by like 20 pounds, right? And so imagine adding basically 10% on top of your body weight. And so I was around 190 pounds. And I bulked all the way to 210, almost to 220 pounds, right? And at the same time, I was training to run a marathon. So guess what happened? I didn't achieve my goals on time. The bulk took like 2-3 months longer, right? So that wasn't good. And the marathon, I only ran half a marathon. I did not go past 21K. And this is because I had 2 different priorities in the same niche when it comes to fitness. And so imagine on a macro scale when I'm doing this on every single other aspect of my life. As in with school, oh, I wanna freaking join this club at school, and I also wanna get this much GPA, and I also wanna get a part-time job, but I also wanna start a business so that I make as much money as possible. And so what you wanna do is you wanna delete this word right here, and you're gonna have a priority. But then you're asking, what do I make a priority? And so let's think about this. When it comes to like different categories in your life, right? You can really think about, or I can think about only a few things that comes to my head. So first of all, you have probably like academics, right? If you're a student. If you're not a student, perfect. It's even one less thing to worry about, right? Then you got business. Or for example, if you're not in academics, you can say about career. Unless you only do online business, even better. 2 things to get rid of, right? Then here, you got relationships. So as in friends, wife, whatever it might be, bro. Then you got fitness. So that includes like exercise, diet, right? And then last thing, religion. Should have been first, but either way, I can say it's about 5 different categories. If you want to actually make as much progress as possible, even though it sounds counterintuitive, you're going to have to focus pretty much 80% on just one single thing. And so let's say I want to get into med school, right? So pretty much throughout all my years in university, I need to maintain a really strong GPA, plus get a bunch of volunteering hours and extracurricular activities. And so realistically, if I really want to pursue medicine, this should always kind of be my priority. Unless, let's say, I'm on my summer break and I have 4 months off, then I can focus on these stuff a bit more. But this is pretty much going to be my priority. And so right now, I basically have to structure my life in order to hit my goals when it comes to academics. So for example, let's say 4.0 GPA, right? And so this does not mean that I can't have goals in these. For example, I can have the goal when it comes to like YouTube and growing my audience and then growing my school community. Look in the description, by the way. And then you got relationships. I can say, hang out, like making good quality friends, right? And then spending time with them and whatever. I don't think I can spell this right. And then fitness, I can say, oh, I wanna cut down or something, right? And to like 10% body fat, right? And then religion, I can say I want to keep praying 5 prayers a day. I want to memorize more Quran, whatever it might be. And it's going to be different for every single person. But as in, I can have all these goals, but I'm not going to make the goal that huge and compared to my priority. As in, like, this should be the hardest goal to achieve compared to all the other 4 goals that I'm going to list over here. And so this all depends on your current level right now. Like, let's say right now you're doing pretty good when it comes to your YouTube and your audience, right? So then you shouldn't make the gap between your current level in business and your goal that huge, because you're going to put like 80% of your effort into here. So this means 80%. Because people that have had success in some of these areas of life have had to sacrifice times where they literally did not even care about the fitness. They eat the cheapest food, eat the food that requires the least amount of effort. They neglect their religion, they neglect their friends and their family. You don't want to be like them. Obviously, you still want to at least maintain your level when it comes to these aspects of life until you can kind of shift your focus onto another thing. But as in, instead of making every single thing a priority and putting 20% into each and getting mediocre results, right? How about you think about the most meaningful goal to you? Like, let's say if you list your 5 goals here, what is the most meaningful goal to you? My most meaningful goal to me is just getting a good GPA because I really need it, right? And so make this your priority. And what you want to do is basically just rinse and repeat this process. And so let's say my semester ends in May, right? Basically until May, I'm going to be following this structure. And so what I'm going to do then in May, basically just reevaluate, look at how I'm doing in every single goal, and just thinking about what's the most meaningful goal that I can hit in the summer that would kind of mean the most to me. And so for example, let's say it's with my fitness and I want to run a marathon or something, right? Then this is going to be my priority. Fitness is going to become the priority, and I start to actually structure my life around it. As in, like, I wake up and then I put on my running shoes, I take some electrolytes, whatever, eat some foods that are good for running. I then just step out and run like a 5K and take like basically a whole hour out of my morning, first thing in the morning, just so I can hit my goals when it comes to fitness. And then, coming back and, resting and not moving much for the rest of the day so that it's best for recovery. But then it's always going to change depending on what you actually want to excel in at that moment of time. But I found this method a lot more effective than just putting 20% into every single thing and just kind of having that work-life balance. Because in that case, like, all your goals are going to take so long to accomplish. And at that point, it's really easy to actually just quit doing the good habits, quit the consistency, and then the result is not hitting any of the goals. And so I hope that made sense. If you want to see similar content, then just click the first link in the description. It's my community where I teach people to get good grades and also hit their self-improvement goals. And so if that sounds interesting, then I'll just see you there.